And again, this is nothing about being a transgender, transsexual, or being queer. It has nothing, very little to do with it. The second person is at the University of California, Berkeley. Her name's Judith Butler. She's famous for the incomprehensibility of her really arcane and abstruse writings, but her contribution is 1990. It's called Gender Trouble. And again, her attack is on these notions of man, of woman, of female, and male. This is the cultural assault on gender, on really on humanity, because they call it transhumanism or transsexualism, but it's really post-sexuality, post-humanism, where the state, after this point, takes control of reproduction and of sexuality in general.
And so for those that don't know, just to back you up, I mean, Huxley, yes, whose brother ran the UN program, was the founder of the transhumanist movement. You have the pop transhumanism that sounds nice, but internally, it's Brave New World. They pick your sex. You go into puberty when you're 5, you're a drone, you're programmed. So they use the civil rights movement saying, let's be nice to people that are naturally this way or you know, have this proclivity, who are nice people, and let's hype it and then make it where people have to do what we want, because it's an engine pulling a whole political train that is a post-human world, and that's in all their text. They're not even hiding that, but then they know that the average person isn't aware of this. It's just like the chemicals in the food and water with the frogs, you know, now having, quote, gender trouble. It's not that we're homophobic against gay frogs. They're not gay frogs, folks, like, you know, some Romans were, you know, one way or the other. The point is that's always gone on. It is an artificiality being projected for an end of humanity scenario. That's their words, not ours. And I know you've studied it, so get into it.
That's precisely it. I mean, it's interesting that you picked up on the biochemical and the science behind this, because they are doing, in the humanities and the social science, what they're doing is providing cover for the re-engineering of the human endowment, male and female, through biochemical re-engineering, through the BPA. You talk about it constantly in your program, and your guests speak to it, to these issues. But they're normalizing, through their teaching, they are normalizing this post-human transgender reality that is a part of a biological programming that was announced in public by people like Aldous Huxley. It comes from the same branch. This is the most recent bud, the green bud of this eugenics tree that has been growing and growing since the time, at least, of Huxley. The third person, okay, we have Judith Butler, we've just finished up with here. The third person in this triumvirate is Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick, deceased. She was at Duke University, which was one of the capitals of quote-unquote literary theory, which is part of this, by the way. Maybe I can get into this later on. There was something called theory with a capital T that was imported from Europe in order to, I think, neutralize any sort of political dissent or awareness that was coming out of the humanities, largely out of the anti-Vietnam War organization. So they brought in something from overseas, and Yale and places like Duke were instrumental in bringing this in. So her name is Sedgwick, deceased. She was at Duke University, made out of family tobacco money, you know, the Duke fortune. And then she wound up at the Cooney Graduate Center, City University of New York. And she is one of the kingpins, or queenpins, rather, of queer theory. And her classic text was published in 1990, and the title there is The Epistemology of the Closet. Right, the epistemology, this is the philosophical underpinnings of what later became queer theory, which again is, I mean, they view it as a standalone, but really it's an adjunct to this larger eugenics re-engineering of the human species to move us into the post-human world. This is how it works. It's very subtle. It's incremental. It's part of this larger strategy of transformation. Of course, there'll be no resistance because there are no more men. And toward that end, I wanted to talk briefly about the Elliot Rodger situation. And out of respect to his family and to the victims, I won't go into the specifics of that scenario. I just I'm putting his name out there as being emblematic of what is happening at major institutions as well as liberal arts colleges, community colleges all over the country. It's probably happening in Europe, Western Europe. It's happening in Japan. But you're seeing larger and larger numbers of male students who fit the Elliott-Rodger prototype. They have severe gender confusion. Sometimes it's referred to as gender dysphoria. They're obsessed about it. They've been on psychotropics most of their life, and now they're being dosed heavily by these gender-bending hormones. And the university, instead of addressing these issues, because they manufacture these gender-bending hormones, because they are an adjunct of the pharmaceutical combine, they instead have put together university student services and counseling services to help serve as sort of the mission control therapeutic center to normalize this transformation. This is
all right, we'll be right back. Just like with breast cancer exploding because of the glyphosates, they make it about let's find a cure instead of finding out why it's exploding. They control the movement.
A 30-day GMO-free emergency food supply for only $99 at 30dayfoodsupply.com. You can purchase Oregon Trail Foods' 1-month supply of high-quality, nutritious, and healthy emergency meals. For less than $100, these vegetarian meals are naturally high in fiber, carbs, and protein, and they're packed with oxygen absorbers in Mylar pouches. They're completely free of any artificial flavors and colorings, have a 20-year shelf life, and take up to 70% less space than number 10 cans. They even offer a gluten-free option. Oregon Trail Foods and 30dayfoodsupply.com keep prices low by buying directly from the producers in Oregon and then passing the savings to you. Purchase a 30-day, 90-serving emergency food supply for only $99 this month, and $10 ships your entire order. Visit the website at 30dayfoodsupply.com or call 541-229-0010. That's 30dayfoodsupply.com, where they make preparedness affordable. 30dayfoodsupply.com.
In the U.S., 1 in every 50 homes will have a break-in this year. Burglars call it smash and grab. Police call it robbery. We call it avoidable. We are Fake TV, a simple electronic device that can fool even professional burglars. Fake TV easily plugs into any outlet and simulates the changing colors of a television. To a burglar, it looks like someone must be home watching TV, so they'll likely move on to an easier target. At only $29.95, Fake TV costs less than a month of most alarm monitoring plans and comes with free shipping. Order your Fake TV by calling 877-5-FAKE-TV or go to faketv.com. That's 877-532-5388 or faketv.com. Fake TV, the burglar deterrent. American gardeners and fellow patriots, make the right choice with your money, time, and your family food supply. Choose 100% pure heirloom seeds in the Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com. Why spend more? The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com is only $37.95 and includes 20 varieties of pure, hardy, easy-to-grow heirloom seeds. Yes, only $37.95. That's 70% less than our competitors. You could buy 3 Survival Seed Vaults for less than one of theirs. The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com includes detailed planting and seed-saving instructions and ships same day. Plus, all orders over $49 ship free. MyPatriotSupply.com is American-owned by patriots like you, passionate about freedom and preparedness. Call now, 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Or discover more emergency preparedness items when you order at MyPatriotSupply.com. Choose the original. Choose the Survival Seed Vault at MyPatriotSupply.com.
Here's the bottom line. There is a public agenda to end human fertility and to reprogram the population in preparation to phase out most of the population. And there are arguments to reduce the population out there, and there's a lot of problems with humanity. But there's the artificiality of trying to make us failures so that we can be controlled and dealt with more easily and removed by an elite who I see as at the bottom of the barrel for humanity. And that's where I leave it. It's just that as the infertility spikes, next it'll be, why are you against people that have infertility? They're in their own group now, too. So I've seen how the very groups behind so much of this will then manage the crises they've helped create, as the professor was just saying, and then they've dumbed the public down to just bleeding names like double plus good, where there's not even a discussion of anything. It's just, you're a racist, or you're a blah, blah, blah. While meanwhile, all the real racism and stuff gets ignored. It really is a dumbing down. It's very dangerous. We'll have to have you back again soon, Professor. We're almost out of time. Got 3 or 4 minutes. Go ahead and finish up. Put bookends on what you've said so far today, and I hope you'll come back and premiere your back-to-school special here in the next 2-3 weeks on air with us. I'd love to come back and roll that one out for the benefit of the University of California. Yes, we're heading in the name of queer theory and GLBT rights, which we all believe in, is sort of a civil protections, right, for anybody, for any individual of any orientation. In that guise, though, what's happening is that the end game of post-sexuality is slowly being realized. This is the goal, as you have spoken to it in your own documentary, Endgame. This helps realize this dream of authoritarians from Plato all the way to Darwin, and that is elite control of human reproduction. So hopefully today I just gave you a little bit of insight, a little bit of behind-the-scenes insight on how this is orchestrated in the academic curriculum, and how generations of educated Americans and Western Europeans and overseas as well are being infused with this New World Order humanistic outlook, which is really anti-human. What do your colleagues say? Because I mean, they're smart. They all know this stuff's in the mainline literature. At the technocrat level, it's not hidden. I mean, what do they say to you? When they speak to me, they look at me askance, and I mean, most of my opposition comes from my immediate colleagues, because they've been bought off into it. They're smart, intelligent people, but like any other institution, the reigning operational philosophy is go along to get along, and this is true for academia, which is ironic, because supposedly we're here in order to blaze new trails and come up with new insights and information, so that we could help move our civilization a little bit further along here. But it doesn't work that way in practice. Well, there's the paradox. They're in their ivory towers, scared of you, but out in the open, what you're saying, really, people have been supportive. And so I think that's what the disconnect is. I don't think this overall program is going to go the way the technocrats thought. I don't believe so. And that's why I'm going outside the tower. I'm going over their heads and going directly to the public. And I thank you for the opportunity to reach such large numbers of people, because this is how we are going to erode the foundations of this artificial ivory tower of Babel that has been erected. It's very, very vulnerable, and I'd like to leave on an optimistic note. The educated middle class historically around the world has never been larger, and that's why their control system, their Snoop systems, their IT, the NSA, that's why they're going to fail. Because our intelligence and our will is far, far greater than theirs. And that's not hype or a pep talk. It's true. That's why they're trying to move so quick right now, because they know they're in trouble. The human desire for true freedom is much stronger than their desire to control and dominate us. Professor, thank you so much for the time. Professor Hamamoto, I'm coming back in overdrive. Thank you to talk to Darlene, James, and Dennis. I appreciate you guys holding. Apologize to the other callers. I'll get to those three. Stay with us, Infowars.com.
I can taste dirt in it.
God knows what's in this.
These people just sampled City of Austin tap water straight from the faucet. Next, we had them try a sample of tap water filtered with a ProPure G2.0 filtration system.
That one is better.
Tastes like nothing.
Yep, I know what good water tastes like. It's good water.
Most tap water contains added substances like fluoride, chlorine, glyphosate, and many others. Studies prove that these substances are linked to an assortment of major health issues, including tooth decay, lowered IQ, and even cancer.
It tastes like you're drinking out of the lake when you're drinking tap water.
The ProPure G2.0 filtration system removes these deadly substances, leaving only fresh-tasting, deliciously clean water.
Okay, this is very tasty.
It's good water.
Refreshing.
It's good.
Go to InfoWarsStore.com today and get your free wire stand with the purchase of a ProPure Big Water Filtration System. Or call 1-888-253-3139.